Well, this is a bit of a turn up for the books, and that today I'm actually out after a grayling. Somehow the stars have aligned to produce a day where the Lower Creedy, where the club has its little bit of grayling fishing, isn't flooded, and I've got the day off, so I thought it'd be rude not to. There is one slight problem in that I don't think anybody's caught a grayling out of here for years, or if they have, they haven't declared it to the club in the catch returns or in any way, so whether they're even still here, I have no idea. I mean, we're only, what, I don't know, half a mile or so up from the River Exe, which has grayling in it, just down there, downstream at Cowley Bridge, so they could be here. They are one of the first fish to leave when the water quality goes down, so perhaps it's not to their liking. But there is always the chance of a coarse fish, chub or dace. Might even find some dace rising if we're lucky. Put a dry fly on. And if nothing else, it's a day out on the river, isn't it? I can use it as a bit of practice for maybe a more serious attempt at some grayling on one of the Tamar tributaries later on in the month. I'm starting with a bit of Ye Olde Duo because I sort of think I know what I'm doing with that, and then I'll probably go on to the tight line nymphing stuff later on. Have a little practice with that as well. But to see what happens. It's quite nice just to be out wading and casting, to be honest. Got like a 10-foot 2-weight nymphing rod. I'm quite surprised at how well it's casting this fly line. I suppose we've got no wind to contend with today, but it's still casting it all right. I thought it was going to be shocking. Well, I have just briefly hooked a something. I don't know what it was. It could have been an out-of-season trout, I suppose. One of those gone type jobs. When I came in the summer last time, I actually managed to wade up through here. I couldn't manage it today, so I should be careful. It just got deeper and deeper and deeper until I thought, right, I'm not going to be a hero. We'll leave it for today. I don't know the stretch very well, so I struggled to find a place to get in. I sort of fell in down this bank in the end here. So it's probably not where you're meant to access it, but it's all just brambles. I've hooked a fish. I don't know what it is. It's definitely a fish. And it's an out-of-season trout. Okay. Turn the camera off, I think. Right, well, I'm going to leave this faster water alone, I think, because I'm just catching out-of-season trout in there. Strange, last time I was here about 3 years ago, that run was the only place I caught a grayling, but just full of trout at the moment. So I'm going to go and try and find a slower, deeper spot, see what's in there. It's typical, isn't it? You come here in the trout season, you can't catch a cold. I think you could catch as many as you wanted today. Trout, that is. still, did just get a lovely view of the kingfisher going up the river. That's nice. I'm no grayling expert, so I don't really know what type of water I'm looking for, but we haven't had any really cold weather yet, have we, to make them shoal up. So if they are in here, it's really a question of just bumping into the odd fish. There's some nice pools. And I think I've seen a fish rise in this pool. It may of course just be another trout, but it might be something else. The only fly I've seen come off so far has been a little dark olive, so I'm trying an olive, grey olive pattern. Unfortunately it hasn't risen again. But it's still nice to cast a dry fly. I think I'm going to do a bit of this and then I'll try the tight line nymphing thing. Well, look at this shit here. Like if I can see fishing line. Where does that go? Oh my god, there's piles of it. Bloody hell. Disgusting. Oh, it's all at the bank as well. That. Right, I'll take that home. Dispose of it. Did they set it as like a night line or something on this? Bloody hell. Well, that's going to take a bit of trimming for next year. Nice pool just there. No way through. This branch here looks like a kingfisher's been resting on here. Yeah, well, no grayling to report, I'm afraid. I've had a go with the Euro nymphing Molotzi, but I just seem to catch trees with it. It's so hard when the canopy's so low like this to do that cast. Oh man. You know, that sort of cast over the top to get the nymphs to dive in first and then be tight to them straight away, just in the trees. The only way I found to do it at all is to like underarm it. Even then, look, straight in the bloody branches. Yeah, I've been trying to do that. I mean, at least with the fly line you can tuck it in under. Right, well, I'm going to have one more tactical change, I think. Try a bit of indicator with a piece of wool, and then I think I'm going to go. It's getting a bit colder now. You are actually allowed to come here and fish now with bait, so maybe somebody could come down with a pint of maggots and some trotting gear and see if there are actually any grayling in here at all. Not something I've ever done, but I'm sure that would be the best way to find out. Must come and fish here more in the trout season actually. It's really quite lovely, isn't it? But just never seem to get here. I think next year I'm going to have to make some resolutions. Lower Creedy and the Colm a bit more. Right, but I think I'm going to call that it. There was actually a few fish rising in this pool, taking little tiny specks, and I thought there was just a chance they could be grayling or maybe dace. I often find dace rising in this shallower bit, but I've just actually managed to catch one on a tiny Griffiths gnat, and it's another trout. So I don't think I want to keep catching these trout in the vain hope that one of them might be a grayling. I think what I really need is to go and fish a chalk stream, or maybe one of the more famous Welsh or northern rivers that are stuffed full of grayling, so I can have a bit of practice this Euro nymphing malarkey, see if I can get on with it. Everyone else seems to make it work for them, so it's obviously very effective. It won't be long now when we'll be off doing our bit of bank clearing work, and by God, this section could do with some. This needs a serious short back and sides to make it a bit more fishable. And then I think it could be, yeah, really lovely spot if you could just get in and out a bit easier, and there weren't quite so many overhanging branches. Imagine this here if there was a nice rise of mayflies going on. Rudely interrupted. Yeah, I should think this would be quite good for mayfly time, looking at the bottom. Just imagine them rolling them down there, look where all those leaves are coming, can't you? Anyway, nice to get out, spend a bit of time in the river, even just an excuse to go paddling, as my wife often says, and a bit of an outing for this nymph rod. I'm quite pleased with how that casts a fly line. I think I could use this up on the really high moor where there's no trees. It'd be quite handy to have a 10-foot 2-weight fish up there. Something to try next season. Because the fish wasn't light just there off the rod tip. It seems to me that they're taking something that's on the leaves, maybe aphids. When the leaves are hitting the stream, that's when they rise. Well, there doesn't seem to be a way of getting out up there, so I think I'm going to have to retrace my steps, and I'll catch you next time.